It is Team Dignitas. ADRD will be on Tassadar. A Thorough Angel playing Sonya. It's going to be Bakery on Morales. Snitch will be playing Jaina and Zarmony, rounding up the team as Johanna. Their opponents from America, Cloud9. Dunk Train playing as Karazine. Fan on Sylvanas. iDream on Rexar. K1 Pro playing Falstad. And King Caffeine, the Warrior, on Muradin.
And both teams are going to be blocking the middle minion waves again to try and get the mid struggle as close to their own gate as possible. And they're going to try and use that to have a better position there and try and take down some of the opponent's heroes. This is a full 5 versus 5 in the middle. Don't worry, they'll disperse to the respective lanes, but you want to have every hand on deck for that first possible engagement.
Yeah, I mean, the middle lane does in fact push out a little bit further than the other two. And yeah, honestly, in a lot of situations, this is just a good way to buy time for the other lanes to catch up with them. Now, like you said, they're just going to soak up the middle minions and then rotate to their lanes respectively to make sure they don't miss any experience.
Now, Falstad is not going to use his fly ability yet. He's going to the bottom lane with all 4 of them. Now, this gives him an option to fly into the top lane later. Presumably, Rexar would use his abilities to make Tassadar use his escape, and then Falstad could fly in and finish him off.
All right, nice hunting wave going out there for Fan to get out of harm's way, but still a lot of pressure being put on by Dignitas early in this game.
Falstad flying to the middle there so that he doesn't have to go through the precarious middle there. Kind of bullying Jaina out of the lane here. A little bit of an XP lead for Team Dignitas here, but it's only because Cloud9 hasn't cleared the minions yet. We have quite a strong wave clear here on the side of Team Dignitas.
Yeah, both teams do have plenty of lane clear for sure. I mean, once Sylvanas gets to level 7 unstable poison, that makes a lot of help for removing those minions, but just a lot of safe posturing happening at the moment.
Yeah, and that's also when Rexar becomes a beast at clearing waves. Picking up that level 7 talent, Bird of Prey, doing double damage with his Q ability on minion waves. That's when they can start clearing waves like mad. For now, we have a status quo here, bit of a standoff as both are trying to capture a few shrines. You never want to rush too quickly to try and capture the Dragon Knight. As cool as it looks and as hard as it hits, you don't want to sacrifice heroes for it.
Yeah, early dragons tend to only take out 1 to 2 towers at most, and is it worth expending heroes to do that? Generally not. Dead even, both teams hitting level 4 at identical timings, both teams just really respecting each other.
I find K1 Pro's Falstad talent choices more than a little bit weird, Jake.
So updraft is the norm for them.
The level 1 is the norm for them.
Wow. But the spec into
Thunderstrikes?
That's new, right?
Every subsequent Thunderstrike does more damage. Normally you don't see that a lot. So very different Falstad play here. Mobility there. He gets more travel distance with his level 1 updraft ability, so he becomes it becomes that he has a better escape. I'm starting to wonder if he will take Epic Mount at level 20.
Oh man, I certainly love to see that. You can make the big plays happen. I'm actually most curious to see what he goes for as heroic. I mean, Mighty Gus, Hinterland's Blast, both very popular heroics, very powerful heroics. But we haven't seen Hinterland's Blast used in so long. With Tassadar in a bit of a bad spot here. Misha Charge does stun him out. Not enough for the kill.
Yeah, King Caffeine's upwards rotations are providing a bit of a trouble there. Tassadar has to hardstone back there. ADRD will be going back up the top. Missing a little bit of XP, but it's certainly better than losing a hero at this point already. Zarmony, likewise, portaling back. Nope, he changed his mind. Well, that's allowed.
All right, well, just a lot of safe soaking dead, even experience still at this point in the game. Looking for those level 7 talents. That's when, like you said, they can start to push through the minion waves a bit more quickly. That means they can rotate more effectively and try to get some kills. Again, you can see the power of updraft there on Falstad, getting him behind his safety.
Yeah, exactly. And also noticing that there's a lot of escape on the side of Cloud9. We see a different talent choice by Jaina here at level 1. Not going for the deep chill, increasing another 10% extra movement slow. Saying, well, they all have their natural escape anyway. They can barrel roll away, they can jump away. Instead going for extra mana. Just keeping more sustained power, realizing that this might be a very long, drawn-out shrine battle.
Yeah, there can be a lot of fights here. K1 Pro taking a lot of damage. First aid use has to use that Gus to get over the wall, staying alive for the time being. A Pharaoh gonna get the Ancient Spear onto Dunk Train. It's a lot of damage, but Karazine can slip away.
One of the hardest battlegrounds to actually observe, since there's always a lot of action going on in the top and the bottom. Dimensional shift, but he has the deep shift ability, adding 1.5 extra seconds on his invisibility and invincibility, allowing him to get away, and no Stormbolt follow-up there. So now that that is known, Murden will know that he has to time a Stormbolt after that. Managed to get away.
All right, Shrines still 1-1. Zarmany taking a lot of damage. If he falls here, that would be first blood in this game, but we do see the Iron Skin keeping him alive for a while. Zarmany super low, but the final shot of Sylvanas takes him out.
First blood by Cloud9. Aethero running away here, taking the high road. The damage has been done. Sylvanas still pushing the middle. And now we're going to suddenly see a 5 versus 4, an instant capitalization on that by Cloud9, capping both Shrines and going to try and put pressure on the middle lane.
I mean, already the mobility of Falstad being shown there, able to fly down, put that huge presence in the bottom lane to make sure they control both Shrines for a short while, but Johanna is back in action, and this is going to be a very hard dragon to pick up unless they can pick off 1 to 2 heroes.
Murden still at the bottom, soaking XP for Cloud9. This may translate into a much quicker level 10 for Cloud9. Still the pressure of those double red lasers. It's also scary. Zarmany moving in.
Yeah, they're really just putting that threat of the dragon there, forcing them forward, forcing them to spend their abilities. Blizzard, we saw the flashlight of Johanna, the skill shots going out from Morales as well, but Snitch is
Stormbolt!
The Stormbolt connects and he goes down. They're turning on his army. They picked up a Dragonite, and Cloud9 suddenly is
the body blocks! Oh, almost Zarmany got taken out. Body blocking Johanna with Falstad. K1's Pro audacity is boundless, it almost seemed like, but then he finally gave the ground as he started taking too much damage.
All right, K1 trading out pretty effectively versus ADRD, but able to use that dimensional shift to get out of harm's way. Cloud9 currently up 2-0, but they do have their heroics running through them. We see Wailing was picked up along with 7-sided strike Avatar. We have Misha, but Falstad is debating his heroic.
Or maybe hiding it. Showing last minute whether it will be the damage or the displacement. In the meantime, we have a convergence on iDream. He doesn't have any escape. Can Dunk Train keep him alive?
Oh my goodness, the Jaina damage is coming through. Barely does manage to pick him off. And the Mighty Gust was picked up, but just a little bit too late.
Could not blow that Blizzard away. Second wave catching iDream there. Managed to finish him off. So it is going to be Mighty Gust. And that is a very short heroic cooldown. 20 seconds left. Dragonite did a fair amount of damage, taking down some walls, getting a bit more of an experience lead for Cloud9.
It's also interesting that Tassadar is considering his heroic pickup here. Force Wall has been quite prominent in this tournament, but the power of Archon, not what it once used to be, but still quite good for your team. And when you have 2 supports, do you really need Force Wall?
Yeah, it is a very difficult choice, and he's hiding it for a reason, just to cast a bit of doubt into it. You may even be letting it depend on how the game goes. I don't think so, probably. I think it's probably just hiding it. But yeah, if you were ever going to take Archon, you should hide it as long as possible. That's what these pro gamers can pretty much afford themselves. They're good enough not to be like, oh no, I didn't pick my heroic, didn't use it in the fight. No, these guys are really good. So it's just one click away, and the element of surprise is worth a lot.
Okay, Aethero, K1 Pro dueling in the top part of the battleground. A nice Ancient Spirit going off, but Mighty Gust is spent to slip away. Of course, that's a 40-second cooldown heroic. Not a big deal to use that in that situation.
Yeah, just like Kel'Thas's Phoenix, it can be used almost as a 4th basic ability. Whenever you can save yourself with it, you should definitely do it. Pressure now by Team Dignitas. They want to force a fight before level 13, but that becomes a forlorn hope as Cloud9 is drawing very near. Stormbolts connects. Wailing arrow!
And the Envenom goes off. Snitch will end up falling here, and they're putting some pressure onto Johanna in the bottom. But with that pickup, Cloud9 secure themselves a full level lead in level 13 with those talents.
Yeah, nicely done by them. They can continue to pressure now the power of Sylvanas, which is why Cloud9 loves that hero so much. Pushing the bottom forward with impunity. Nothing to be done by Johanna. All she can do, all Zarmany can do there on Johanna, is just to stay near it and try and get a bit of experience and try to slow the advance of Cloud9's rampage.
Yeah, just absolutely phenomenal decision-making. 3-1 in terms of kills. The Dragon Shrines are once again active, and if you control them, you can get that Dragonite. But we do see Dignitas, they've kind of recuperated, they're back on the battlefield, and they're putting that presence in the top part of the battleground.
I feel a lot of confidence coming from Cloud9 here. The way they are playing shows a lot of confidence and power. That Mighty Gust was a little bit overconfident, didn't hit anything, but they still have control, which means they can pretty much dictate how the next fight is going.
All right, King Caffeine actually just wasted Dwarf Toss, so if he goes too deep, he can't get back out until it's off cooldown. So he does have to play careful here. Yeah, just walking away a little bit with Johanna in that front line. Notice Sonya hiding in the bush. If they step forward too much, the Ancient Spear will come out in a heartbeat.
Now, every 5 versus 4 is an investment. You need to get something done. iDream was still pushing the top XP. That means that Athero had to leave now. Dragon Knight for Cloud9.
Right under their nose. The moment they stepped away, Cloud9 was so confident to just step forward and channel and grab that dragon.
Oh, Snitch, no. Can he get away? Ice block.
K1 Pro, bit of a bad situation. The shields come off. Mighty Gust is
flying away.
He's trying to fly. The snowball just barely doesn't take him down.
You saw the projectile following him. Unbelievable.
Oh man, Athero is looking for blood here in the top, though. We do see Dunk Terrain, the whole team up here except for Falstad. He will not have Fly for some time since he used it defensively, so he just needs to heal up and come back out of the action. Cloud9 playing rather safe, but they have that 2-level advantage.
90% HP on the Dragon Knight, 20 seconds left. They can start using it a bit more brazenly, starting to hit that fort a little bit, and that's exactly what King Caffeine is doing. He doesn't care about the damage he's taking anymore. 12 seconds is what he's got, and what he wants is level 16 and taking down this fort.
Oh, this is such a huge window with that level advantage for them. They can be as aggressive as they like to really try to bring the pain and force themselves into a great spot for level 20.
All right, level 16 has been reached. Feign death for Rexxar. We've got Stone Skin coming out for Muradin. Karazim is going with the Circle of Life, presumably. And the dagger that makes everyone a little bit more invulnerable, vulnerable from Sylvanas.
Oh no, we see the Dimensional Shift has to be used already. ADRD in a bit of a bad spot, a lot of damage going up. Again, Prescience goes off, but will he be able to survive through this? Blessed Shield does not manage to hit anyone, just buying time to get them out of there.
Cloud9 is starting to throw their weight around here as they're starting to steal Dignitas' Siege Giants. There's no label on it, but you can pretty much assume it's on their own side. Normally Dignitas would love to have them. Is Cloud9 going to pressure with that? We see iDream soaking the middle lane with Rexxar. Even as they're starting to push in, iDream is going to join his allies in combat. And
ooh,
what?
Oh, Tassadar, the explosion from the minions. Unstable Poison takes him out.
Wow.
They're powering through this wall with their giants. Just escorting them, getting them in 7 seconds.
Oh!
Doing so much damage. The heals are not enough, and he goes down. Cloud9 will get a keep only 12 minutes into this game.
It's a double kill out of nothing. Cloud9 takes a keep at minute 12 and will live to tell the tale easily. Starting to take down a healing fountain a little bit. Athero was taking a bruiser cap. Now they're starting to push into the middle. We've got another 20 seconds of no Johanna. This could be a second keep, Jake.
Oh my goodness, it is. I mean, this is insane. Cloud9 just showing how confident they are. A lot of teams would have just opted to back out, but Sylvanas disabling those structures. You see she was actually going back and forth between the tower and the keep to make sure they took no damage. They are in a dominating spot right now.
Very nice play there by Fan on Sylvanas, and a bit of a blunder there by ADRD, dying on the Tassadar so close to the gate. I guess they died there as a team, as he was unable to save himself with Prescience, with Dimensional Shift, with healing from Morales. It's just a bit unlucky. And Jake, we have yet to see a single Medivac.
You're right. They haven't really been in an opportunity where they can use that to go across the map and try to make plays. Medivac's something that you often use either to escape or to attack in a very specific manner, right? Over maybe one shrine.
Exactly.
Or to chase someone when they're falling, or when you're chasing them into their lane. But they've never really been in a spot where it made a whole lot of sense to use.
Right, they have not been in a level of comfort. Cloud9 has put the pressure on, they have piled it on, and they're keeping it on. I see Falstad flying to the back, Sonya in the middle, being mighty gusted away, 7-sided strike!
So much damage from that Karazim Heroic. 50% of your health gets removed, and Sonya falls like she's nothing.
Now they're starting to close in, hungry for blood. Chasing here, Karazim with his punches. They're starting to occupy the shrines now. Fan on Sylvanas, heading towards the middle.
And there's the Medivac going to the top lane. So this is the kind of use you want to see. They're trying to stall out the dragon. Will Cloud9 channel in time? No. So that is going to be Bakery picking that up, and a nice denial of the dragon.
Yeah, very good move. Note also that if he stayed a second longer, he would have the shrine, but he would be at risk of dying. A very fair trade. Taking it to the halfway point disables it for the opponent, but all it actually did was provide something like a 10-second delay. Cloud9 still gets the Dragon Knight. They're pushing in. There's no keep in the middle lane, and it's a Level 20 versus 17.
Yeah, they're going to have those Storm Talons any moment, and note that they're going down the mid lane, which means they want the core. 2 keeps down already, a 3-level advantage. This defense is not going to be easy.
As the tower goes down, the way is clear. They're starting to be pushing in here. King Caffeine on the Dragon Knight looking for his next move. New minion wave is spawning.
Yeah, just drive them back a little bit as they regain their composure. They want to escort those catapults up forward, and even this split push from Falstad, the fact that he can take out these towers in the top lane and then fly into the battle when he's needed most is just exemplifying how good he is with that global mobility he has.
Yeah, exactly. Now we see Epic Mount indeed, by the way, being picked up by him. Super cool. And they're starting to push in through the top again. Oh, Seven-Sided Strike, Wailing Arrow!
A lot of sustain comes out to keep Johanna up. Wailing Arrow not quite enough to seal the deal for any of those kills, but they're all very weak, and the Dragon is...
Oh, the dodge on the Blessed Shield!
Nicely done there. The keep will end up falling. Falstad rotating around the bottom. I believe Mighty Gussia still down, so they don't have that. Snitch is getting super low. Ice Block to dodge the Storm Bolt. And King Caffeine needs to back away, but the core is starting to take some damage.
K1 Pro jumping in with Falstad. They have 4 catapults pushing here. I feel like at this point they can just go for the core.
They're going for it. Cloud9 is knocking on the door of Dignitas. It's